Sashi Pugi Jushi Meto Chang Lira Venchi Nende Yempadi Sangye Shindu Mekte Uargi Dokun Nanda Shima Chipasho Idam Guru Ramandalakam Meratayami Sangye Shidam Soki Chognamba Changsu Badu Dagni Kyatsuchi Tagi Jinyen Gipe Sunamki Cholar Hanchi Sangye Dupasho Sangye Shidam Soki Chognamba Changju Bardu Dagni Gyasuchi Dagi Jinyen Gipe Sunamki Chola Penchir Sangye Parsho Sangye Shidam Soki Chognamla Changju Bardu Dagni Gyasuchi Dagi Jinyen Gipe Sunamki Cholar Penchir Sangye Parsho.
Last week we covered some of the basics as far as the subject of Bodhichitta, specifically Tonglen and the 7-step cause and effect method, and some of the basic ideas behind how to generate this most holy mind that wishes to achieve Buddhahood to benefit all the living beings. But before that, you have to be a Buddhist. You have to go for refuge, generate bodhicitta, which is the foundational Buddhist Mahayana Buddhist practices. Then last week we had the top 10 benefits of bodhicitta. This week we had the 8 special qualities, results of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Number 1 is you become a Buddhist. That's the main refuge, true refuge, which is not the ceremony. There is a ceremony that you go through when you become a Buddhist, and you squat like a chicken, and you Lama repeat some words, and you blah 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 some words. It's kind of like an initiation ceremony. It's kind of like a communion or confirmation in Catholicism. That's what I would. Then that's not refuge. Actual refuge in your mind is when you have the thought that you don't want to suffer in samsara, and then you go to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha with some belief that it can help you. Specifically, that it can help, that emptiness can help. I mean, the main thing when you're going for refuge is you're going for refuge in the Sangha, which is anybody who's seen emptiness directly, and you're going for refuge in the Dharma, which the actual Dharma is the realizations that you get from studying these texts, mainly about emptiness. You're shooting for that direct perception of emptiness. And then you're going for refuge in the Buddha jewel, the Buddha Ratna, which is a person, a being who has perfected himself, has completely enlightened, omniscient being. And how he started off on that path to omniscience was with that direct perception of emptiness. So you're going with great faith, believing that emptiness and bodhicitta can save you. Then number 2 in the 8 special results of going for refuge is it's a foundation for all other sets of vows. There are many different types of vowed morality in Buddhism. Mainly, if you don't take any types of vowed morality, you mainly want to stay away from the 10 non-virtues, or cultivate the 10 virtues. Kind of like 10 commandments in Christianity. In Buddhism, they have 10 non-virtues. And they're delineated with the various, some are by body, some are by speech, some are by mind. Then mind non-virtue is craving. Craving for the various sense objects. Constantly craving. There's that song by that folk artist that I always forget her name. Constant craving. Then in Buddhism, that's considered a wrong view. Constantly craving for sense objects. That's not a wrong view, that's a non-virtue, a mental non-virtue. Then ill will is another mental non-virtue. And we have this all day long. If you work at a job and you don't like somebody, you often rejoice when they don't get their promotion, or they screw up in some way, or somebody makes fun of them. You tend to rejoice in that. And there's just a general ill will that you have towards beings. Could be your enemy, could be somebody with a different political agenda than you have. Then wrong view is another mental non-virtue. And this is just ignorance to karma and its effects, and ignorance to your real nature. These kind of beliefs. Ignorance to rebirth, the belief in future and past lives. Then that's another kind of mental non-virtue. Physical non-virtue then is like stealing. Stealing people's stuff. I remember when we were at the temple in New Jersey, Rashi Kempoling Rinpoche, when there were some visiting monks, he told all of his ordained peoples don't touch their stuff. And I'm like, well, what is there, like a rash of like monk thieves? We're like the most worried about, righteous characters. We don't steal people's stuff. Then that's considered one of a bad deed, stealing people's stuff. Then there's killing people, and you see that going on all around the world. Sexual misconduct, and I won't go too deeply into what that is. Then there's non-virtue by speech. Lying, telling the lie. Then divisive speech. When you talk bad about another person and talk good about another person, or you go to one person and say, this other person said this about you, then you go to that other person and say, this person said this about you, and then you split them up. That's divisive speech. Then there's harsh speech, constantly berating people, talking very nasty. Then there's idle gossip, which I'm a great practitioner in idle gossip. Idle speech. This is like, just talking for the sake of talking. You can't shut up. Talking about nothing. And non-virtue by speech. Then the going for refuge can also purify karma. It's a most holy state of mind, generating that kind of great faith in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, that it tends to purify your mind. Helps to purify your mind